What if the way you think about your health and your life shifted from self-improvement to stewardship? From fixing what is broken to honoring what you've been given? Personally, I think that shift changes everything. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. The word stewardship means the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to your care. I love this word for what I do and what I teach because I think it captures something that the language of self-improvement often dismisses or ignores. Self-improvement implies that there's something wrong that needs to be fixed. It positions you as a problem to be solved. And we've talked a lot about how bodies are not problems to be solved, but neither are you. You are not a problem to be solved. It keeps you in a constant state of not quite good enough, always working towards some better version of yourself that exists just around the corner. Stewardship is different. Stewardship says you've been given something remarkable, a body that is capable of really extraordinary things, a life that is entirely yours to shape. And the work is not to fix yourself, but to honor what you have been given by taking extraordinary care of it. I think that is a fundamentally very different relationship with your own health. And I think it's so much healthier. A good steward does not take what they have been given for granted. They do not assume it will be fine no matter what they do. And they do not abuse it in the service of short-term comfort or convenience. A good steward pays attention. They notice what's working and not working. They invest in maintenance rather than waiting for things to break down. They make decisions with the long-term health of what they are responsible for in mind. Applied to your body and your life, this means asking not just what feels good right now, but what serves this body and this life over the next decade, and the one after that, and the one after that. It means treating sleep, movement, nourishment, emotional health, not as luxuries or obligations, but as responsibilities that come with the gift of being alive. It's really funny. Earlier this week, this is the second time this has happened, actually. My son, who's 16 now, had his braces taken off right before he started high school. So he was probably, 13, 14 years old. And a part of the maintenance of getting your braces off is wearing retainers, right? So he has these nighttime retainers that he wears on his bottom teeth and top teeth. And I'm not really sure what happens in his sleep cycle, but I swear that kid, has MMA fights in his sleep because I often find him in very strange positions. His bedding is a mess. His retainers are out of his mouth. I'm not really sure what happens in his sleep cycle, but what I do know is that he has lost his retainer, both of them, a couple of times in his room, because while he's sleeping, his retainers fall out, they land on the floor, and then somehow they end up usually under the bed. And I found out about the first time he lost his retainer because I asked him if he was wearing it at night, as parents do. And he said, no, I lost it. And it had been a month. He hadn't had it for a month. Well, of course, we eventually found the retainer. He said he looked so hard for it. I went in his room, found it in 5 minutes, and then he started wearing his retainers again. Well, it happened again the other day. I asked him if he'd been wearing his retainers. He said, no, I lost them. I said, Liam. And he goes, Mom, I looked everywhere. They're not in my room, which made me giggle because of course they're in your room. Where else would they be, right? There's not a magical fairy that came in and took them away. So we go in there, lift up the mattress. 10 minutes, we found those retainers. And I told him You have been given a mouthful of teeth. That alone is a gift. Then your parents gifted you straight teeth. We paid a lot of money, worked really hard to earn that money, so you could have straight teeth. That's a gift. Now, your job is to be a good steward of the gifts. So you don't have to wear your retainer. I'm not going to parent you around that anymore. But I want you to know that a day will come that if you don't wear these retainers now, you correcting your teeth is going to be on your own dime. And that's going to suck because it didn't have to happen. To me, that is being a good steward of a gift. So I talk a lot about self-leadership in my work, right? And here's where stewardship and self-leadership connect. Stewardship is the why. It's the frame, the intention, the orientation towards your health and your life. It's knowing what you're devoted to. It is the recognition that what you've been given is worth taking seriously. Self-leadership is the how, right? It's the daily practice of making decisions that honor that responsibility, of knowing yourself well enough to know what you need to do. Following through on your commitments to yourself, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Of course correcting without drama when you fall short, because you will fall short. You will lose your retainer. The two work together. So stewardship without self-leadership remains a beautiful idea that never becomes a practice. Self-leadership without stewardship frame, can become another performance, another optimization project, another version of chasing a better self, rather than honoring the one you already have. So you've been given one body, you know this, one life, one opportunity to show up fully in the time that you have been given. And I'm not telling you that or reminding you of that to give you pressure, but to remind you of the invitation. The invitation to take extraordinary care of what you have been entrusted with. Not because you have to, but because it's worth it. Ask yourself today, in what areas of my life am I being a good steward? Because I guarantee those areas exist. And where am I taking what I've been given for granted? And pay attention to those answers, because that's where your work is. Those answers are calling you into work. My book, The Consistency Code, is built on this exact idea of becoming a good steward of your own health and your own life. If you want a free chapter, head on over to graceandgrit.com/free chapter and see if the work that I teach in that book resonates with you. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.